and we are being joined by our third guest. He is Cage Fury Fighting Champions welterweight Bassil Hafez, and he is set to return to action. After suffering his first loss back in October, getting back in there May 20th at 2300 the arena against. Didn't your opponent just get changed?
I'm on now. What's up?
Didn't your opponent just get changed, Bassil? You're on now, brother.
Just about a week and a half ago. It's now Chauncey Foxworth. The last guy pulled out for the second time again. So the new guy.
Why?
I know. I actually messaged him and I started freaking out on him, just calling him a fake fighter. Like, who pulls out? Who takes the fight and then pulls out 4 weeks out and then says, okay, for the next time, I'm good now, I'm ready to fight him, and then pulls out 3 weeks out.
That sounds like a lot of waste of time.
It's one of the things you love but also hate about the local or regional scene is that you have the wannabe fighters that just want to look like they're a fighter on social media, and then when it actually comes down to getting that tough matchup to really test who you are and see who you are in that division, in that region, in that city, and we've had conversations on the air with other promoters and stuff like that. Just some of these crazy stories. I was talking to one of the fighters, and he said, guy pulled out because his dad's car got stolen, and all his equipment was in his dad's car. He can't fight now.
You don't need any equipment to fight. You just show up and get your hands on it. What you mean?
He didn't have his cup. The guy stole his cup.
But see, even when it comes down to it, even if all the guy's stuff was gone, all that stuff could kind of remedied. 9 times out of 10, the promotion gives you a set of gloves.
Yeah, sorry guys,
all you need to do is bring a cup, a mouth guard, and that's it.
We even provide the socks.
If I heard one, my
dad's
car got stolen.
You need your shorts, but what does a pair of fight shirts cost? $20-$40? Come on.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just guys. Some guys just really want to say they're MMA fighters and they want to take fights, but when it comes to actually, the challenging fights that really test your will, a lot of them don't want to do it. A lot of them just want to, because it's like push comes to shove. Like, some guys don't mind throwing punches, but then when they get hit, there's always that one punch that turns you into a bitch real quick. You get that one hit, and the next thing you know, you start second guessing everything. Start second thinking.
Dude, even look at your last fight. The guy you went up against in your last fight is an absolute monster. DJ is no joke, man. And you had a battle.
Yeah, look, I want that fight back so bad. I definitely want to get a rematch. DJ is a good guy. He's a tough fighter. I think he landed only 1 or 2 punches in the whole fight, but we kept on taking me down. He's a great wrestler. But I think if I went with the right mentality and the right mindset, I believe 9 out of 10 times that I can beat DJ. He got me that night. He got the best of me. He followed his game plan to a T. But I want that fight back, and I'm always like that with all my losses. I only have 2 losses. One is an amateur, one is a pro. When one is an amateur, a guy ended up going to 155. Me and him talk all the time, and we're cool anyway now. So, that's that. And then with DJ, that one's not going anywhere because I'm pro. We're in the same weight class. We'll get another one in eventually. He keeps winning. I plan to keep on winning. I'm going to keep on doing my best to strive to get better, and I definitely want to get that back at some point.
Now, I got to ask you, dude, misspelled your name after the last time we had you on. You shot the video of me taking leg kicks, but I never seen it went up. What did that, just stayed in your private Let's Laugh at Steve bank?
What happened?
I said, remember before not before the DJ fight, but the fight before that.
Yeah.
Remember, we came to weigh-ins, I misspelled your name, and I said I would take some leg kicks from you.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But you said you were going to post it. I'd never seen it. I'm like, so what is that? Stayed in your personal, I'm going to laugh at Steve tonight? Hold on, where'd that go?
I don't even know where that video went. Who took the video? I don't have it on my phone. I think you took the video.
I think your striking coach is the one who took it.
I mean, we can always do another one. I can always kick you again, and we can take another video.
I'm glad you kicked again.
Well, you got to kick him hard. Kick him harder this time.
He did. I think you wound up kicking me like 3 times, didn't you?
I forget. I think we had a couple bad takes, so we had to keep. It's got to be a good video. It's got to be a good.
You got to get a nut shot in too. You got to get a nut shot.
No, what are you crazy?
Nah, I don't mess.
I mean, it's not like I'm having
boys.
kids anytime soon, but I don't think anyone wants to get a shot in the pills.
I don't want to mess up and have kids one day or anything. I don't mess with that.
Well, no, man, I'm done having kids. I'm done. I got my son.
Right,
I have my daughter. I have my stepdaughter. I'm not having any more kids, Joe.
You're good then.
But still, I want to get hit in the pills, man. Come on, what are you doing, Brad? I'm gonna hit you, give you a nut shot, man. What the hell's that?
Yeah. Well, the guy that stole my truck didn't steal my cup out of it, so I'm good.
You can give me Kevlar down there. I still wouldn't want to have it.
Hey, but Bassil, man, you got
Ever.
the change. You got the change of opponent. Does it really matter to you?
I mean, yeah, it does matter because you train for a certain style. I mean, like to fight, no, I don't care. I'll fight whoever. I'm not really, I don't have a thing where I'm like, oh, this guy is a little better. This guy's a little more experienced, or this guy fought that guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't care. Like I took DJ fight on I think the guy pulled out at 4 weeks, and then they got DJ locked in on 3 weeks. I fought DJ on 3 weeks notice, and the guy I was fighting before had no wrestling. So I mean, I have confidence in myself. I mean, I ended up losing that fight. I still believe that I can get that one back, but I mean, I'm not. Opponent change is like it's kind of thing that nobody wants to deal with because you prepare for one thing and it's unprofessional when guys pull out and the opponents have to change. But I'm not one to back out of a fight just because of the opponent change. To me, it's still a fight, and I'm confident against whoever they put against me. I'm confident against Chauncey the same way I was confident against the other guy, Corey Bull, or whatever his name was.
Well, you got to think too. In the fight game, time is not always of the essence. It's like you got to do things in a certain amount of time to get to where you want to get to. That's if you want to go to the UFC. Now, if you want to be the local hero and be the tough guy around the neighborhood, I guess that's not a big deal. But for you, you got a bigger picture. So, turning down fights is stupid. I don't know why anybody would do that. But like you said, there's wannabes out there.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's tough. Like I said, like the opponent switch, if it's something like, I always feel confident. At the same time, you never want to take an opponent switch with a guy like you're preparing for another guy and then you get a juggernaut on like a short notice. It's never good. I mean, not that anyone should be scared because it's fighting. We should be ready to fight whoever, whenever. In this, that's what fighting is really about in the most primalistic form. But at the same time, in the sport we're in, it's about game planning. It's about preparing. It's about all that stuff. So if you're preparing for one guy and one style, and you've been practicing this one thing, and then you get a complete switch, it kind of messes things up. But at the end of the day, I mean, I spar guys with different styles all the time. I spar with Muay Thai guys, Jiu-Jitsu guys, wrestlers. I spar with different guys from all different backgrounds. So it's something that I feel confident I'm going to be ready for whoever I get. So opponent switch does kind of mess things up a little bit, but to me, it doesn't stop the show. It doesn't stop me wanting to fight. I mean, unless we're talking like, 24 hours, the guy pulls out, and it's a complete ridiculous matchup for the next one. It's like, all right, well then, it's kind of stupid to take. But at the end of the day, you can't. You got a lot of guys pull out because of the opponent switch. You can't. If it's enough time, it shouldn't be an excuse. And I don't believe in pulling out of a fight unless you really have I rarely get injuries. I've only had I think 2 fights I ever had to pull out of, and they're both as amateurs. And I had legitimate injuries that I couldn't. One of them I got in a street altercation. Like a guy hit me in the head with a wrench, and I had massive concussive issues, so I couldn't really fight if I wanted to. And the other one was torn cartilage in my ribs, and I couldn't even breathe. So I mean, those are the only 2 times that I pulled out, and I felt like a complete coward and pussy when I pulled out. So to me, it's like I don't think pulling out is ever an option unless you physically have to, and it's like train right, train smart, treat your body right, know what you're doing. You won't have any injuries like that come up. And if they do, they're freak accidents, and then there's nothing you can do about that. But anyway, at the end of the day, no matter what, I'm ready for Chauncey Fox, and I'm ready for this fight. I'm ready to go in there with this guy's heart out. So
now,
what do you
quick?
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I want to quick change gears right quick. We already asked Mike Wilcox about what he thinks about the welterweight title fight. Actually, I want to get your opinion on 2 of the title fights because you also got your teammate Anton Berzin making his I believe it's his first return to the cage since The Ultimate Fighter. Is that correct?
No, he had a fight for CES. He had a fight for CES MMA.
Oh, CES. I almost forgot about that one.
Yeah, he beat the crap out of the guy. That was a good fight a real good fight for him. It's been tough. I mean, I'm not Anton, but as a teammate, I hear things, see things. I just know that he has trouble getting opponents that aren't going to pull out or back out, or even getting opponents in general sometimes on the regional promotions. And not every fighter wants to say, "Oh, I'm going to take a fight on 2 weeks' notice out in Cali." It's like that's kind of like when guys know who you are on the regional scene and you're a good fighter. That's like one fight away from the next level. It's tough to get fights.
Yeah, but if I'm a 205er on the regional circuit, I want to fight Anton. This is yes, he is very dangerous. He has amazing jiu-jitsu. He's a very talented fighter. But that guy is gonna be the guy that gets me to the next level. He's gonna get me to take the fight. Lucky enough to get out of there and get a victory. He's going to help me, go above that regional circuit. He's going to help me get to, the LFAs or the CESs or whatever. He's going to help bring me up. And even if I do lose now I know what I have to improve on. Where do I get better at? It's one of the things that drives me nuts about it. Like guys padding their records. Like this isn't boxing. Yeah. This is MMA.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of fans loved MMA is because of these athletes weren't scared to take an L, and we're starting to see more and more of that in this sport, and it's starting to irritate me a little bit. But what are you going to do? You're always going to find somebody who's trying to get ahead of the curve, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys. What you said makes 100% sense, and I agree 100%. That's the way it should be looked at, and that's the way I look at it. That's the way most of the guys I train with look at it. But not everyone looks at it like that. So not everyone is willing to take a tough fight. They want to get the tough fights once they get to the UFC. They don't want any tough fights before. Even the one to get there, they don't want a tough fight to be. They want it to be a easy ride, so they don't take a chance of not getting there. But no, I mean, all I can say is I know firsthand from seeing it that he has that trouble getting opponents and he has that trouble getting fights, but this one looked like it's going to go through because we're already a week out, no pull out, nothing happened, so it's good.
Well, I didn't think Jamil would pull out anyways. As soon as I heard the announcement, I'm like, oh man, that's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, I'm excited. Anton's looking good, looking real clean and good. And he's ready. I think he's ready to shock the world in Philadelphia.
Well, I don't. Anyone who's from Philly or seen him, it won't be shocking, but. One thing's for sure, definitely excited to see him back in action and doing his thing in the cage. I always kind of felt that he should have that the UFC should have given him another opportunity. He was the number one pick for a reason. Kind of didn't perform the way he wanted to. He also had people tend to also forget that he also had to have his fight moved because he had to have a medical procedure while he was on the show. So. I mean, I'm not going to give him an excuse, but but no, everyone it kind of is one of the things that gets forgotten about. I still feel that all the guy the guy who fought him, he didn't beat him up. He just humped his leg for freaking 10 minutes.
Amen
so
to that, yeah.
We'll see what happens. I'm sure Anton's gonna go out there and do his thing, but go back to your division, Sean Brady and Tanner. That looks like another fun fight. We're talking to Wilcox. Wilcox is, obviously very high on him. That's his teammate. How do you think this fight plays out? I'm very high on both of these guys. I've seen Sean, obviously, but I just think it's a really good matchup. I want to see what you think about it.
I mean, I guess it's a good matchup because you say so. I mean, personally, I think Sean's going to win. I think the dude Tanner he's good, but he's only had one fight in CFFC. He kind of came out of nowhere and just getting a title shot. So I mean, more power to them. The title gets the vacant title gets awarded to the winner of that fight. And I mean, me personally, I would love to get a fight with Sean Brady, get a fight with whoever has the belt at the end of this. I feel confident with either fighter against either fighter.
I like that. But no, Tanner used to train with Sarah McMahon when she was where in Ohio she was training at when she was married to her late husband, and he used to train with her. and he had a pretty bad leg injury. Left MMA for a while. I think he was actually doing some pro wrestling, and then about a year ago he started doing MMA again. That's when he got the fight with CFFC. So I mean, I understand why you're kind of 50-50 with Tanner. I know a little bit of his background. I know why he hasn't really been super active. So that's kind of like I'm excited to see where he's at. It could also go the other way, and Sean could blow him out of the water in less than a minute. We've seen him do that, and that's another reason why I want to ask you is because Sean is another one of these welterweights on the scene. He's got a great skill set. You're another welterweight. I got nothing but respect for both of you, and trust me, I would love to see what happened if the two of you guys get put in the cage. That's very interesting. You're, I love your jiu-jitsu, and he does very well against jiu-jitsu guys too in the training room. Obviously, a fight is a totally different story, but it's what makes it intriguing. As much as I got respect for you and him, I want to see that fight. Hopefully that's something that happens.
Yeah, look, Sean.
Go ahead.
Sean trains out of a good camp, and I've trained with a bunch of guys that he trains with over there at Henzo's. I know he comes out of Rami Elite for striking, so I know all the guys he comes and trains with, and I know he comes out of a good camp. I've been willing to fight Sean since my pro debut. Not saying anything to the effect of the inside logistics, but he's been offered to me. I've said yes. The fight hasn't happened. I believe he's kept on winning, and I think he's going to win same night as me, and I think a fight between me and him is going to happen sooner than later. So
you think it's kind of a respect thing that he kind of he knows that you guys kind of known each other and stuff like that, and that technically both of you guys are under the same branch of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, even though you're not in the same gym. And at the same time, wouldn't you guys rather fight for a title than fight for just respect? I mean, at least in my opinion.
I'm sorry, at the beginning of that you broke up.
I mean, like I said, I kind of feel like maybe it's kind of a respect thing, not like kind of avoiding you. I mean, at least in my opinion, I would rather see you guys fight for a title than just kind of fight for respect. At least in the way I see it.
I mean, no, I agree. It's my whole thing. I don't call anybody out unless they're at a spot where I think is worthy of being. I mean, obviously now he's fighting for a title, so if he wins the title, then that's a spot where I want to be. Whoever's at the title is a spot where I want to be. Whoever's at the top of the mountain or is visibly at the top of the mountain, that's where I want to be. So before it wasn't a thing where like I was I'm gonna try and get some respect and beat it. It was a thing that he was offered to me, and like I said, I'm not scared to fight anyone at any time, so I accept the fight. If he's a championship spot, then it's a spot where he fights the next best contender, the next best matchup. So to me, whoever wins that belt, I want a shot at that person that wins the belt. Maybe they might give me one more fight until then, but ideally, I want to fight whoever the next best guy is in my division. Because obviously the end goal is to get to the UFC, and to get to the UFC, it's a lot easier road travel being a champion in this company because of the coverage and the exposure you get. So I feel like being a champion with CFFC is a big deal. It's a very big deal to me. Obviously, he views it as a big deal. Anyone that fights in this organization should know it's a big deal to be a champion for this company. So I want to be at the top of that mountain.
I mean, look at how many champions have made the jump to the UFC. It's not like it's just a handful. It's more than a handful, and they have been highly successful in the UFC as well.
You said before both under the same jiu-jitsu, same lineage. What did you say before?
Well, no, like it's kind of the same tree because isn't Balance is a Gracie school, correct?
So not. I mean, I'm a little more confident in our Gracie Jiu-Jitsu versus their Gracie Jiu-Jitsu because. But that's what I'm saying. That it's a Gracie school. That it's not. Your guys aren't exactly on the same branch, but it's kind of the same principles. It's a little different though. Different jiu-jitsu. That's why I think Balance Jiu-Jitsu is superior to a lot of other schools and a lot of other guys, and I think I proved that when I get out there because was it Henzo Gracie is Carlson Gracie lineage. Which, at the end of the day, they're all under Helio. But then you look at where my lineage and my instructors are under Helsing Gracie, which is under Helio's under Carlson. Helio and Carlson are both brothers. But so it's different. Carlson Gracie and Henzo Gracie are more sports jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. Miglarisas are under Helson and Helio, which are more self-defense and practical to fighting. So, I mean, we're not really the same. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, is everywhere, but to me, we're different sizes of the battlefield
here. I guess sometimes I need to do a little bit more due diligence when I'm looking at it. Then I guess.
No, I mean, because you're right. It's both Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, but to me, it's different styles.
Well, no, but that's what I mean. Like when you say, but there's a difference. Because I didn't know that difference, it means I need to do a little bit more research. That's just how I am. I'm meticulous.
Oh, you know that? Yeah. Helson and Carlson, Helio and Carlson are brothers, but they're two different styles, really. Carlson is more sport. Like the fancy guards and all that stuff. I'm not saying that everyone that trains under Henzo and under that lineage does that, but that's more the sport jiu-jitsu. And then, Helio and everyone under his lineage, like Hoyce, Hickson, Helson, all those guys are more of the street self-defense jiu-jitsu. So it's a little different, a little bit different style.
Gotcha. Brad, anything you wanna add before we let him enjoy the rest of his evening?
Bassil, I just want to talk about your amateur career. Like, how important was it for you to spend the time you did in the amateur ranks, getting your game up to where it is today?
This is really important. I think amateur experience is one of the most important things you can get because you get to really experience, trying to find yourself as a fighter before you get out there on the scene where everything counts permanently. I mean, if it was up to me, I probably would have done some more amateur experience, but nevertheless, I'm still happy where I'm at. But definitely, I agree. I think amateur experience is really important to every fighter. I think every fighter should step in there. I think every human being should step in the cage at least once in their life to experience that feeling. But amateur experience is definitely important and good to the growth of a fighter who's trying to make it to the next level and to go pro eventually.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And one of the guys you fought in your amateur ranks, I was there for the Chris Cortalo fight. He's got a big fight for Ring of Combat, and Dana White's going to be there. So, are you going to be kind of quietly hoping he has a good performance? Because I know you guys didn't have any bad blood, or at least that I knew of, and was really excited when you guys had that fight for what was it, XFC.
I'm waiting for Dana White to be at one of my fights. What's up with this? Keep on getting ducked. No, but I mean, are you gonna pull a Sean Santella and just show up at Ring of Combat and start campaigning for Dana White? Nah, man. I mean, look, I'm all for making nice exposure and a little shit talking, but I'm not gonna be a dickhead, so I'm not gonna go over. I'm not saying Sean. I don't know anything.
When Sean went there, it was just kind of to kind of touch base with him. He was Cage Fury flyweight champion. They were there for the taping of the show. I think he was just trying to get some FaceTime with him, and security was shooting him down. They wouldn't even let him anywhere near.
Let me reiterate that. I don't know which. I never even heard Sean did that. I think Sean Santella is a great dude. I didn't mean that like he's a dickhead. I just meant like me personally. I wouldn't go and do that. I would just try and get it the way that I can have him see my fights or prove it by winning. But no, Sean's a great guy. I didn't mean like that. I didn't even know he went and did that.
No. I wasn't referencing that. I was just kind of explaining the situation a little bit more. Maybe I needed to reiterate it a little bit more. But no, I didn't think you were referring to him as one. I know you meant like trying to make a scene to make yourself known. I know that's what you meant.
No, I got you. But
I know how it is, man. You don't, the way media is nowadays, someone would have turned that into a soundbite. Be like, oh, Bassil Hafez is calling Sean Santella this. I know exactly what you're doing. It's all good, brother.
Yeah, because he's a good dude. He trains out of a really good gym, and all those guys, I know them pretty well. I know how it came out, and I realized like, oh, I just said that. It sounded kind of weird. I was like, let me go back and fix that because it's not what I meant. But yeah, I mean, Chris is
that's all right, man.
Good luck to him. Chris Cortalo is a good dude. Me and him we stayed friendly and cool afterwards. He's a great heart. He's a good guy. I wish him the best. And I mean, look, I wish all the guys that from our local area come up and get in the UFC because at the end of the day, that just expands our area and really shows the talent that we have here. So I think all the guys, any guy I ever fought, I believe, should try and get to the UFC and should be able to get there. I think the East Coast and the Philadelphia area is really underrated with talent, and the more guys that make it out. I mean, I would love to be up there myself too. So it's a thing where, I want to be up there ahead of everyone else. But if guys from our area make it to the UFC, and guys from the Philadelphia area specific and the suburbs of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania, more power to them. Get there, and then make this area more known. But shit, I'm never going to stop anyone from getting that exposure and getting that contract. That's all. We're all chasing the same exact thing. At the end of the day, it's all business.
Exactly.
And
one of the things like I've talked at nauseam about other people. Like it's like almost it seems like parts of the city where you see it's like if you're not from my team then you're against me. And I'll go to had so many conversations with Haskell about this that we're all from Philly. Anyone who makes it out of Philly and makes it all onto the big stage, we should all support. It don't matter if he brutally beat up one of your teammates. We should all support one another. That's the one thing I love about this city is that we may have some competitions with each other, but when we get to that bigger stage, that we all kind of conform and kind of push that, and it's what I like to see.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. I mean, there's always going to be that. I mean, for me personally, there's always going to be the alpha male syndrome of any guy that's in my weight class. I want to be dominant. I want to be the top dog. But at the end of the day, any guy that makes it from the area to the UFC, it just helps the exposure from this area. And I mean, you can't. That's like if someone if someone that I grew up with or someone that I know from the area is like, yo, I'm a millionaire now. I did this in life and I did that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, screw you. I'm like, oh, good for you, dude. I'm happy for you. I want to do the same exact thing for myself. So like, I'm never going to hate on someone succeeding. To me, that's just someone who's not confident in themselves and has insecurities that they would talk down or wish bad upon someone. But the more people succeed around me, the more people I see succeed in the scene and
but even
and
like
the stuff
you
that
even
I
look
get,
at yourself like you don't just you want to make it as an MMA fighter, but you're also smart enough to know that you're going to need other things to kind of get you there. You have other business, other ventures outside of being a mixed martial artist, which I think a lot of fighters need to make sure they had. You can't just bank on making it as a professional fighter.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, some guys definitely their goal is 100% on fighting, and there's nothing wrong with that because I realize it firsthand. Sometimes taking your mind off of fighting and focusing on other things kind of can mess up your game plan and mess up your mentality and your drive because you're kind of like stuck between two different things. But at the same time, it's like you should always try and do something outside the cage and not just rely on that because, I mean, there's money in MMA, but only for certain people. If you love to fight, and which is what I love to do, is I love to fight. I love everything about combat and fighting, so I'm going to keep doing it until my body doesn't let me anymore. But at the end of the day, yeah, I think everyone should be smart and know how to take care of themselves outside of just fighting. Just in general, it's smart to do that.
Sometimes that's called life. People that fight still have maybe families to support or other things that they need to maybe have a roof over their head and stuff like that. So you're going to have to do something outside of fighting. But it's always it's great to have a plan B.
Yeah, in the UFC, what was it? Ally Quinta, he just had a fight, and he was saying he's a real estate agent now. I mean, I know guys that are at top level that have other jobs, so they can kind of have to sometimes when the money's not what you need to support a family and you got kids and everything, or you got certain stuff going on. Some people just have expectations in their mind, and they have certain lifestyles they want to live. And if you're not making it all in an area, you got to find other outlets.
Maybe, too, you're a fighter. You did really well throughout your career, and you have a great side business. So, hey, it's not so bad to say goodbye. There's so many fighters that have nothing else to fall on that they just have a hard time saying goodbye, and they stay maybe longer than they're supposed to stay. But, if you have that backup plan, it's easier to go, hey, man, I had a great career. Now I'm going to do and kick ass in my other career.
Exactly. Some guys you see like that are still fighting because they need the money. Some guys don't have really anything outside, but they never built. They thought the money would get better, and they thought they would start making more money. And next thing you know, that they're 5-6 years down the road, they had a loss or something that happened. And next thing you know, they're not making as much as they thought, or they don't have as much as they thought in the bank. And then they need to fight because they need to eat. They need to feed their family. To me, at the end of the day, I don't look at fighting as like, I need to get paid off fighting. I need to make money. I look at fighting and I love to fight. I'm going to build stuff outside of fighting so that I don't rely solely on the fight pay. I mean, yeah, obviously I want to make as much money in fighting as possible, but I fight because I love to fucking fight. Simple as that. I love to put the gloves on and get in there and scrap. So to me, I'm focused on fighting.
That's what we were talking about with our first guest, with Cowboy. It was like, hey, man, bottom line, you got to love to fucking fight, because if you don't, the hell are you doing it in the first place? I mean, you're going to stress yourself out to the beyond. to fight when you don't even like doing it, just go get your Affliction shirt and go hang out at the bar or do whatever you got to do. But
exactly, yeah.
You know,
Mike's a smart kid, man. He knows his stuff. He's been in the game for a while.
You know, not even worth it,
man.
man. But if you love doing it, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
one last question before we wrap things up with Bassil. What'd you do with Miles for Mother's Day, brother?
For Mother's Day, I went and visited my mom's gravesite. Went there and read her and my father some prayers, and then I spent the rest of the time here with my family, my cousins, my aunts and uncles, just hanging out, being around family, just enjoying as much as I can. I don't know. To those that don't know, I lost my mother to breast cancer in 2010. My father to lung cancer in 2013. I don't really like Mother's Day, obviously, because it's based on mothers. It brings up the memory, obviously, which is always with me anyway. But to me, at the end of the day, I'm over here just trying to make it be successful and make my parents proud and make them happy. For I know they would want me to be the best I can be at everything I do.
Regardless where your MMA career goes, brother, I'm absolutely positive they're proud of what you've done since they've moved on from this realm, so to speak. And I'm pretty sure they'd be happy with what you're doing and how you're doing right now. So continue to make them proud, brother. As we get ready to wrap it up, you know what we do. We throw the proverbial microphone over to you. Anyone you would like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out your social media sites, websites, any charities you're working with, anything you want to say at all, sponsors, the time is yours.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me. K-Side Submissions is a great podcast. I love being on here, having good conversations. I want to thank my team, first and foremost, Team Balance Studios, all the affiliates, all the guys from them. I want to thank my coach, Andy Russell, my coach, Ricardo Miglarice, training partners, Jay Raddick, Anton Berzin, Tim Williams, all the guys at 302 Jiu-Jitsu, guys at Martinez, BJJ. I want to thank my strength and conditioning coach, Eddie Hall, with Hall of Fame Personal Training. I want to thank my sponsors, Super Dry, Sketchburger in Philly, Chicks Philly, Alienware, Tri-State Adjusters, Diamond Realty, Stake 'em Up, Turnersville Family Dentistry, Rankin Glass, Right Choice Pharmacy, best pharmacy in Philadelphia, Lugiano Medical, and then I want to give a shout out to my business and my sponsor, Love Graphics Design Studio. If anyone's looking to ever get fight shorts, T-shirts, embroidery, anything at all printed whatsoever, I own a business called Love Graphics Design Studio. We do awesome work at competitive pricing, and customer service is number one for us. So I just want to shout those out. But thanks to my team, all my sponsors. I'm ready for fight night.
Hey, Bassil, real quick, man, I think you got a future in radio or television as well, so that was great.
I would love to, man. I'd love to. Maybe one day have my
That was
podcast.
great, man. That was excellent. You ripped it down the line, man. You didn't even hesitate. Perfect.
I got a list
right.
here I'm reading off of.
No,
hey, man.
whatever, man. Perfect.
He's gonna put us out. He's gonna want to doing his own podcast, and then we're gonna be out.
We're gonna be competitive. We're gonna be competing soon. No,
I'm good. I already took them leg kicks. I don't think I wanna battle you when it comes to that. Come on, man.
No, you're good dude, Steve. I like you, man. You're good people. I appreciate you having me on it always.
It's always a pleasure, man. Best of skill come the 20th. Do your thing, man, and we'll have you back on here again.
All right, thanks again. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me. Good night, guys. Thank you.
You too.